Hey guys, so in this video we'll be discussing the CMAT 2025 questions from slot 2 and we're discussing the QA and DI section. If you guys want, we can discuss the LR section also. Please let me know in the comments on the same. So let's start. Right, so very beautiful question. And interestingly, we're taking the difficult, slightly tricky one as the first question now. So let's see how we do that. I have four persons, P1, P2, P3, and P4. In general, the first person has 12 options for his birth month, right? He can have any of the 12 months as his birth month. Same way, second person can also have any of the 12 months as his birth month. Same way, the third and the fourth persons, right? Now, in general, the total number of ways of assigning the birth month of these four people would be 12 into 12 into 12 into 12, right? And that is basically 12 raised to 4. Or you can keep it as it is as well. No problem as such. Okay. Next, you want the probability that their birthdays or their birth months will fall in exactly 2 calendar months. Exactly 2 calendar months. So when we are calculating the number of favorable outcomes, the event is that they have their birthdays in exactly 2 calendar months. Okay. The first step would be to select 2 months out of 12. That can be done in 12C 2 ways. Further, we have to distribute these 2 months to the four people. Now guys, there are two ways of doing this. The first way, I'm calling it as case 1, is 2 out of the 4 people will have their birthdays as the first month selected, and the other 2 can have their birthday as the second month selected, right? So if 2 persons have the first month as their birthday, 2 persons have the second month as their birthday. These are 4 people. Okay, you can see that there are 4 objects, can be arranged in 4 factorial ways, out of which 2 are alike and 1 type, so divided by 2 factorial, and these 2 alike and second type, divided by 2 factorial. So these many ways of assigning the birth months to these 4 people, given that exactly 2 people have the first month as the birth month and exactly 2 other people have the birth month as the second month selected. Okay, guys, we have a second case as well. In the second case, exactly 3 people can have the first month selected as their birthday, right? Exactly 3 people will have the first month selected as the birth month, and the last person will have the second month selected as his birth month. So 4 objects, out of which 3 are alike. So 4 factorial divided by 3 factorial ways. There is one more way in which we assign the second month to 3 people, guys. And the last person, well, by default has only the first month selected as his birth month. So once again, we have 3 people having the second month as the birth month and only 1 person having the first month as the birth month. 4 objects, 3 are alike and 1 type. So 4 factorial divided by 3 factorial ways. So the total number of ways of distributing the 2 months between these 4 people will be 4 factorial upon 2 factorial times 2 factorial plus 4 factorial upon 3 factorial plus 4 factorial upon 3 factorial multiplied by the number of ways of selecting 2 months out of 12. So if I simplify this, 12C2 is 12 into 11 upon 2 into 4 factorial upon 2 factorial would be 4 into 3 into 2 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. So 1 2 factorial gets cancelled, plus 4 factorial is 4 into 3 factorial. Below also you have 3 factorial gets cancelled, plus once again we have 4 into 3 factorial. Below the 3 factorial gets cancelled. Lastly 4 and then 2 cancels from here. So 3 into 2 would be 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 4 14, and 2 cancels. 6 into 11 into 14. These are your favorable outcomes. And finally, we want the probability. The probability will be the favorable outcomes divided by the sample space. That will be 6 into 11 into 14 divided by 12 into 12 into 12 into 12 4 times. So 6 ones are and 6 twos are cancels, 2 ones are and 2 sevens are cancels. 7 into 11 in the numerator is 77. In the denominator, I have 12 into 12 into 12. That's 12 cube. 12 cube is 1728. And that's my answer, 77 by 1728, which is the A option, right? So that's how we do it. A slightly complicated question if you don't know PNC, but if you are comfortable with solving PNC questions, if you are comfortable with PNC, this is a very good question, a very medium level question to solve. The answer is option A. Alright, so in triangle PQR, point X is on PQ and point Y is on PR, such that XP is 1.5, XQ is 6, PY is 2 and YR is 8. Consider the following statements. Okay, so guys, we have a triangle PQR. Let's construct triangle PQR first. Point X is on PQ, such that XP is 1.5. So I'll take, suppose point X as here, XP is 1.5 and XQ is 6. And there is a point Y on PR, right? They're saying there's a point Y on PR, so that PY is equal to 2 and YR is equal to 8. Okay. Now I want you to notice something very, very important, guys. If you notice, PX upon XQ is 1.5 upon 6, that is 1 by 4. Same way, PY upon YR is 2 by 8, which is again 1 by 4. PX upon XQ is same as PY upon YR. That means the line XY, if you join, will be parallel to the line QR by the converse of basic proportionality theorem, converse of BPT, right? So if a line divides the two sides of triangles in the same ratio, then it is parallel to the third side, right? So XY is parallel to QR. Since XY is parallel to QR, guys, we can now prove triangle PXY will be similar to triangle PQR. How? Angle PXY will be same as angle PQR, corresponding angles of parallel lines, and P would be the common angle. So triangle PXY is similar to triangle PQR. So I can say PX upon PQ would be same as XY upon QR. Now PX is basically 1.5 and PQ is PX plus XQ, that's 7.5. So I will get PX upon PQ as 1 by 5, which will be equal to XY upon QR, or I will say XY into 5 is basically QR. Now if you look at both the statements, statement 1 says QR is 5 times XY. Yes, that's absolutely correct. And triangle PYX is similar to triangle PRQ. Yes, that's also absolutely correct. So both statements 1 and 2 are true. That's the A option. Okay, pretty simple question, completely based on BPT. Okay, if you know the BPT, the basic proportionality theorem, it's a very easy question to solve. The answer is option A. Okay guys, a consignment of 15 wristwatches contain 4 defectives. So out of 15 wristwatches, we have 4 defective, by default 11 good watches, proper watches, right? The wristwatches are selected at random, one by one and examined. The ones examined are not replaced back. What is the probability that 9th one examined is the last defective? Okay, so basically the watches examined, the number of ways to examine the watch is nothing but the number of ways to arrange these 15 watches, right? So 15 watches, 4 alike and one type, 11 alike and second type, they can be arranged in 15 factorial divided by 4 factorial times 11 factorial, right? And that's your sample space, the number of ways to arrange the watches for examination. This can be further simplified to 15 into 14 into 13 into 12 into 11 factorial. Below you have 4 factorial, which is 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and the 11 factorial, which will eventually get cancelled out. So 4 into 3, 12 gets cancelled, 2 7s are 14 gets cancelled. Your sample space boils down to 15 into 7 into 13, right? Now guys, that's your sample space. The favorable outcomes are when the 9th watch examined is the defective one, the last defective one. So the 9th watch is defective. The 8 watches before this one should contain 3 defective and 5 good watches, right? And the 6 watches examined after this, 10 to 15, should all contain the good watches. So 8 watches examined, 5 good and 3 defective. The number of ways to arrange them will be 8 factorial times 5 factorial times 3 factorial into the last defective one. There is only one way out remaining, into 6 watches good. The number of ways to arrange them is 6 factorial divide by 6 factorial, right? 6 objects all alike and one type. 6 factorial upon 6 factorial, which is only one way out. So we simplify this to 8 factorial upon 5 factorial times 3 factorial. 8 factorial can be written as 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 factorial divided by 5 factorial times 3 factorial. So 3 factorial is 6 and 5 factorial is 5 factorial getting cancelled out. The required probability will be this upon this. So the final answer would be 8 into 7 divided by 15 into 7 into 13. So 7 and 7 gets cancelled. 8 upon 15 13s are 195 is the required probability. It is the B option. Okay, very straightforward question. If you are aware of the concept of arranging objects not all distinct, this particular concept, you can also check out the link in the description where I've explained this concept also. Okay, in how many ways can the following prizes be given away to a class of 30 students? Okay, mathematics, first and second. Okay, physics, first and second. Chemistry, first. And English, first. The number of ways to offer the prizes in mathematics is completely independent of physics, which is also independent of the number of ways of giving the prizes for chemistry and English. So we have to find out the number of ways of giving the prizes in mathematics, physics, chemistry, and English, and ultimately multiply all of them. Okay, so let's start. The number of ways of assigning the first and the second prizes in mathematics will be: first prize can be assigned to any of these 30 students, and the second prize can't be given to that same person. So second prize will have 29 options available. The total number of ways to give away the first and second prizes is 30 into 29 for maths. Something similar happens for physics also. First prize can be given to any of these 30 people, while second prize can't be given to the same person. So 29 options for the second prize. The total number of ways of giving away first and second prize in physics would be 30 into 29. Likewise, the number of ways of giving away the first prize in chemistry would be 30, and 30 ways to give the first prize in English. Okay, as discussed previously, we are supposed to multiply all of these. So 30 into 29 into 30 into 29 into 30 into 30. So 30, 30, 30, 30 will come 4 times, 30 raised to 4 into 29 will come twice, 29 raised to 2. And that's the answer to my question. 30 raised to 4 into 29 raised to 2. It is my D option. Alright guys, so let's solve this next question. What value comes in place of the question mark in the following statements? And arrange them in the descending order. Okay, so if you look at the first question, the A part, it says 5 by 9th into bracket 225.4 minus 45.4 is question mark square. So in this A statement, I have to solve for the question mark and find its value. So 225.4 minus 45.4, this value is in the bracket. So we solve this first. It will be 5 by 9th into 225.4 minus 45.4 is 180. So 9 20s are 180. 20 into 5 is 100. Question mark square is 100. So for the A option, the question mark is worth 10 because 10 square is 100, right? So in the as for the A option, the question mark should be 10, right? Let's solve the B part now. B part says root of 1024. Well, root of 1024 is 32 into 40 plus 20 square is 400 plus 0.5% of 9600 is 0.5 upon 100 into 9600 plus 469. Okay, so this is 2 zeros gone. 96 into 0.5 is technically 96 into half. That's 48 for you. So this part is 48 plus this is 400 plus this part is 4 2s are 8 and a 0. 4 3s are 12. So 1280 plus 400 plus 48 plus this part is 469. Right, so 8 and 9 would be 17, 7 and 1 carry. Now we are at the tens places. So 8, 4 and 6. 8, 4 and 6 would be 18 plus 1. The carry is 19, 9 and 1 carry. We are at the hundreds place now. So 4 and 4 is 8 9, 10 and 1 carries 11. Again a 1 carry 1000 place, 2197. Okay. And this 2197 is question mark cube. So for the B option, the question mark's cube is 2197. So the question mark is the cube root of 2197. That's basically 13, right? So the question mark in the B option is worth 13. Okay, next one is the C1. The C1 says 8 raised to 12. Well, 8 raised to 12 is 2 raised to 3 the whole raised to 12 divided by 16 square. 16 is 2 raised to 4 the whole square of 32 cube. 32 is 2 raised to 5 the cube of that into root 256 is basically 16, and I can directly write 16 as 2 raised to the power 4. Okay, now we can simplify these further. 2 cube the whole raised to 12, we can use the law of indices. 2 raised to 3 the whole raised to 12 is 2 raised to 3 into 12. That's 2 raised to 36 divided by 2 raised to 4 the whole raised to 2 is 2 raised to 4 2s are 8 of 2 raised to 5 raised to 3 is 2 raised to 5 into 3, that's 15 into 2 raised to 4 is 2 raised to 4 as it is. Now we'll use the rule of BODMAS. We first solve the off part. This is the off part. 2 raised to 8 of 2 raised to 15 is technically 2 raised to 8 into 2 raised to 15 only. That's 2 raised to 23 using the first law of indices. Numbers are multiplied and the base is same. Powers get added. So this becomes 2 raised to 36 divided by 2 raised to 8 plus 15 is 23. So 2 raised to 23 into 2 raised to 4. Okay, next step, continuing with the BODMAS rule, we divide these two. So 2 raised to 36 upon 2 raised to 23, right? This entire thing gets multiplied by 2 raised to 4. Okay, now this part we can solve further by saying this is 2 raised to 36 minus 23 into 2 raised to 4 finally. So this becomes 2 raised to 13 into 2 raised to 4. 2 raised to 13 into 2 raised to 4. We can again add the two powers and finally say this is 2 raised to 17. So the question mark is actually 17. Okay, the right hand side is 2 power 17 and the question mark is worth 17 now. So for the C option, the question mark is worth 17. And that's it. We now are left with the last part, the D part. As for the D part, we have 18 1 by 3. Write this as 18 plus 1 by 3 plus 9 2 by 3. Write that as 9 plus 2 by 3. Minus 10 1 by 3 can be written as minus 10 minus 1 by 3 is equal to 1 2 by 3 can be written as 1 plus 2 by 3 plus the question mark. So minus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 cancels and 2 by 3 cancels from both the sides. You subtract 2 by 3 basically from both the sides. This is effectively equal to 18 plus 9 minus 10. 27 minus 10 is basically 17. So 17 is 1 plus the question mark, or for the D option, the question mark is 17 minus 1, that is 16. So the A option question mark is 10, B option is 13, C option is 17 and D option is 16. We have to arrange them in the descending order. The biggest one you can very clearly see is the C option. So C is the greatest. Then you have the D option, right? Then you have the B option, then you have the A option. Now very clearly it is our option D that says C, D, B, A in the order, right? This one was slightly lengthy, but yeah, that's how we do it. Not too difficult, just a slightly lengthy question. The answer is option D. Okay, so Ravi took a loan from some bank for his 2-year MBA program at IIM. He took the loan of 6 lakhs such that he would be charged at 8% per annum compound interest during his program and at 10% per annum compound interest after completion of course. He returned half of the money which he had to pay on the completion of his program and remaining after 2 years. What is the total amount returned by Ravi? Okay, so Ravi took a loan of 6 lakhs, okay, 6 lakh, and he's supposed to pay the interest of 8% per annum compounded annually, okay, during his program. And his program is a 2-year program. So the amount that he'll have to pay is the principal 6 lakh into 1 plus R by 100 raised to N, here is 2 years. So by the formula of compound interest, amount is principal into 1 plus R by 100 raised to N. We can basically figure out the amount that is payable after 2 years. So this will become 6 lakh into 1 plus 8 by 100 is 1.08. And we are kind of squaring it. So this is 6 into 1.08 square. We have a shortcut for multiplying this. 108 is 8 more than 100. Again, 108 is 8 more than 100. You can just cross add any of them. You get 116. Insert two zeros and just add 8 8s are 64 to it. If you want to understand this trick in detail, you can check out the course link in the description. In my course, I've explained this entire shortcut and a lot of other shortcuts in detail. Okay. So 6 into 1.1664 is the total amount that is payable after 2 years. Now what he does is he pays exactly half of it, right? So let's first calculate this part roughly. This will be 7 lakhs approximately. Okay. So the total amount payable is 7 lakhs. He's paying half of it. So half of it means he has paid approximately 3.5 lakhs. And now the remaining amount is also 3.5 lakhs. Now this amount is retaining after 2 years. Okay. On completing his course, he's paying 3.5 lakhs, guys. And the remaining half he's paying after 2 years. For those 2 years, the interest rate is 10% per annum, right? So taking this 3.5 lakh as the principal into 1 plus 10 by 100 raised to 2. Once again, the amount that he is paying after 2 more years will be the principal 3.5 into 1 plus r by 100 raised to 2. R is 10 and the time period n is 2. So 3.5 into 1.1 square will be 1.1 square, right? 1 plus 10 by 100 is 1.1 square. This is 3.5 into 1.21. So if you multiply this roughly, 12, 5, 60, 36 and 4.2. He's paying approximately 4.2 lakhs after 2 years, right? 3.5 lakhs he's paying after his MBA and 4.2 after 2 years. The total amount he is paid is 3.5 and 4.2. That's roughly 7.7 lakhs and that's my A option. Okay, without blinking an eye, I would mark the A option. Right, so I have approximated a lot of values here, but that's okay. The options are pretty far apart, so we can do it. So that's the answer, option A. Alright, Amit can do 50% more work than Bhushan in the same time. Bhushan alone can do a piece of work in 30 hours. Okay, 30 hours. Bhushan starts working and had already worked for 12 hours when Amit joins him. How many hours should Bhushan and Amit work together to complete the remaining work? Alright, so very straightforward question again based on time and work. Amit can do 50% more work than Bhushan in same time. That means the efficiency of Amit is 50% more. Okay, 50% in fractions is basically 1 by 2. I need to calculate 1 by 2 of something. Let us suppose that something has 2. So I'm assuming the efficiency of Bhushan as simply equal to 2 here. Okay, as per the question, Amit is 50% more efficient. So 50% means half of 2 is basically 1. Half of 2 will be 1. That means Amit's efficiency is 2 plus 1, that is 3 units. Okay, if Bhushan's efficiency is 2 units per hour, then Amit's efficiency will be 3 units per hour basically. Okay, now the question says Bhushan alone can do a piece of work in 30 hours. Bhushan's efficiency is 2 units, and like that, if he works for let's say 30 hours, the work he will perform is 2 into 30, that is a total of 60 units. Okay, this 60 units is your total work done. Okay, further, Bhushan starts working and had already worked for 12 hours. So having efficiency of 2 units, Bhushan has worked for 12 hours. The work he has completed is 2 into 12, that's 24 units, right? 60 units of work, 24 is done by Bhushan alone. The remaining amount of work is 36 units. Okay, the question is asking you, how many hours should Bhushan and Amit work together to complete the remaining work? Remaining work is 36 units, will be done by Bhushan and Amit together. So together they will complete the work at the rate of 2 plus 3, that is 5 units. 36 units is done at the rate of 5 units per hour. The time taken is 36 upon 5, that is 7.2 hours. Okay, very simple. And as I've said in the beginning, it's a very straightforward question. The answer is option C, 7.2 hours. Alright, so I have a cylindrical box. Okay, and the box has a radius of 5, right? 5 centimeters. Okay, and the box contains 10 solid spherical balls, each of radius 5. So radius of the sphere is also 5 centimeters and the cylinder is also 5 centimeters, means they are kind of touching each other, something like this. Okay, so one spherical ball, two spherical balls, then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 spherical balls like this. Okay, if the topmost ball touches the upper cover of the box, okay, and since the balls are placed inside the particular box, the lowermost ball is also touching the lowermost part of the box, right? So if you notice carefully, guys, this is the radius of the sphere, this is also the radius, so this part becomes the diameter, 10 centimeters. This is also 10 centimeters. The next ball is also 10 centimeters in diameter, and like that the last ball is also 10 centimeters in diameter. Okay, if you add all these diameters, you basically get the height of the cylindrical box, that is 10 into 10 into 10 into 10, that is 100 centimeters, right? Okay, now we can find out the total volume of this cylindrical box. The volume of any cylinder is pi r square h. The radius of the cylinder is 5. So pi 5 square into h, height is 100. Right now, from this volume of the cylinder, I have to remove the volumes of these spherical balls. Each spherical ball has a volume of 4 by 3 pi r cube. 4 by 3 pi into 125 phi cube, right? And like that, I have 10 such balls. So the total volume of all these balls is 10 into 4 by 3 pi r cube. So pi into 5 square into 100 minus 10 into 4 by 3 into pi into 125 is the required answer to the question. Now to simplify things, you can just write this as 2500 pi minus this part will be 40 and 125. So 5000 pi by 3. 3 into 2500 is 7500 minus 5000 is also 2500 pi divided by 3. And that's the answer to my question, the A option. Right? So again, a very straightforward question. The answer is option A. Okay, given below are two statements, you have to check which of these are true, which of these are false. Okay, the ratio of circumference of two circles is 3:4. Okay, let us take the radius of the first circle as r1 and the radius of second circle as r2. The circumference of first circle is 2 pi r1 and circumference of second circle is 2 pi r2. Well, the ratio is given as 3:4 or 3 by 4. 2 pi 2 pi cancels. I get r1 upon r2 is 3 by 4. If r1 upon r2 is 3 by 4, let us square both sides here. We will get r1 square upon r2 square is 9 by 16, right? 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16. Let's multiply above and below by pi. I'll get pi r1 square upon pi r2 square is 9 by 16. But guys, a circle having radius r1, pi r1 square will be its area. Same way, a circle having radius r2, pi r2 square will be its area. So the areas of the two circles are in the ratio 9:16. That makes the first statement absolutely true. Next, the question says, if the circumference and the area of a circle are numerically equal, okay, let the radius of circle be equal to r. So circumference will be 2 pi r and the area will be pi r square. So pi r cancels. Ultimately, you get 2 is equal to r or r is equal to 2. If r is equal to 2, 2r will be 4. But 2r of any circle twice into radius is also equal to diameter. So diameter will be equal to 4, and that's why the statement 2 is also absolutely true. If the circumference and the area are numerically equal, the diameter is equal to 4. Yes, absolutely correct. So both the first and second statements are true. We mark A option as the answer. Okay guys, now this is something that I've observed regarding all the CMAT questions. CMAT math the following questions. They are not pretty lengthy as many people believe them to be. We have to be very sharp and very observant. So I can observe something very interesting. Let's look at the D part, guys. In the D part, A by 7 is B by 9 is C by 11. Okay, if A by 7 is B by 9 is equal to C by 11, then we can say that A is to B is to C will always be equal to 7 is to 9 is to 11. Okay, there's a proof for this, guys. You can assume all of them to be equal to, let's say, K. So A will be equal to 7K, B will be equal to 9K, and C will be equal to 11K. If A is 7K, B is 9K, and C is 11K, their ratio is 7 is to 9 is to 11, guys. Isn't it? So remember this as a standard. Whenever you have A upon X is equal to B upon Y is equal to C upon Z, then the ratio of A is to B is to C is same as X is to Y is to Z. So the D option corresponds to 1, right? The D statement corresponds to the list 2 wala first one, and there is only one such option that does that, the D option. Okay, D corresponding to 1. So straight away you can get your answer without even bothering about the first 3. Directly mark the D option as the answer. Okay, the other way is you have to solve the entire thing now. So 4A is equal to 5B. From here, I will get A by B is equal to 5 by 4. And 7B is equal to 9C. From here, I get B by C is 9 by 7. B corresponds to 4 here and B corresponds to 9 here. Let's multiply here above and below by 9. And let's multiply here above and below by 4. The LCM of 4 and 9 basically is 9 into 4. Okay. So A upon B will be 45 by 36. And B upon C will be 36 by 28. From here, I get the ratio of A, B, and C as 45 is to 36 is to 28. B is now common, right? 36. So A is to B is to C will be 45 is to 36 is to 28, right? So 1 corresponds to 2 very clearly. Okay, the A corresponds to 2. I'll write it here. A corresponds to 2, right? Now, the second part, the B part is A is equal to 1 by 4th, right? A is equal to 1 by 4 times B. Okay, so once again I will have A by B is 1 by 4 and B is 1 by 2 times C. They are saying B is 1 by 2 times C. From here I'll get B by C is 1 upon 2. Exactly like the previous case, we multiply here by 1, nothing else, and here we multiply above and below by 4. So the B part becomes same in both the ratios. I get A upon B as 1 upon 4 as it is, and B upon C as 4 by 8. From here, the ratio of A is to B is to C would be 1 is to 4 becomes common, and C 1 is to 4 is to 8. Okay, so for the B1, it corresponds to the third part. That's a drawback of solving everything, guys. You have to basically look for everything now. Okay, it's very, very confusing also, and you have to look for each and every part while solving. Okay. D part we've already solved. The D part corresponds to first one, right? So let's solve for the C1. The C1 is P is to Q is to R is 2 is to 3 is to 4. Okay. So for all practical purposes, take P as 2, Q as 3 and R as 4 only for this question. Okay. P upon Q will become P is 2 and Q is 3. Q upon R will become 3 upon 4 and R upon P will become 4 upon 2. Okay. This is the ratio you want. 2 by 3 is to 3 by 4 is to 4 by 2. Multiply everywhere by the LCM of 3, 4 and 2. LCM of 3, 4 and 2 is 12. So we multiply throughout. 2/3 of 12 will be equal to 8 is to 3/4 of 12 will be 9 and 4 by 2 times 12 is twice of 12, that's 24, right? So P by Q is to Q by R is to R by P is nothing but 8 is to 9 is to 24. So C1 corresponds to the fourth part. A is 2, B is 3, D is 1 and C is 4. This is very clearly our D option. Okay. Okay, 3 vessels P, Q and R of same capacity are all full. P, Q and R. Okay. Vessels P and Q contain milk and water. Okay, P and Q, they both contain milk and water. Right. So I'll just write it here. P and Q, they have basically two contents. P has milk and water in the ratio 4 is to 1. Q also has milk and water in the ratio 7 is to 3. While R contains only pure milk. Okay, the contents of these 3 vessels are poured into a larger vessel S. After drawing 30 liters of mixture from vessel S, the final quantity of water left in S is 40 liters. Then the capacity of each vessel is. Okay, very beautiful question. Let's observe one thing, guys. 4 plus 1 will be 5 and 7 plus 3 will be 10. the least common multiple of 5 and 10 would be 10 only. So for all practical purposes, let us assume the capacity of each vessel as 10x. Okay, 10x liters. Okay, now out of these 10x liter in the vessel P, the ratio of milk and water is 4:1. So milk will be 4/5 of 10x and water will be 1/5 of 10x. This is the beauty of assuming 10x as the total mixture volume. So 4/5 of 10x will be 5 to 10, 8x liters of milk and 5 to the 10, 2x liters of water in the vessel P. Same way, in the vessel Q, 7/10th of 10x will be 7x liters of milk and 3/10th liters of 10x will be 3x. 3/10th of 10x is 3x liters of water. Okay, now guys, when we mix all these three, P, Q and R, the total milk content will be 8x from the vessel P, 7x from the vessel Q and 10x from the vessel R. This total is basically 25x, and the total mixture you're taking is 10 plus 10 plus 10, that is 30x, right? So out of the total mixture 30x, 25x is milk. Okay, so 30x minus 25x, 5x liters is water. So we have found out that in our entire mixture of 30x, 25x is milk and 5x is water. Now out of these 30x liters, when you remove 30 liters, after drawing 30 liters from the vessel S, right? When you remove 30 liters, in those 30 liters also the ratio of milk and water will be the same as it is in the original mixture, right? The original mixture is 30x liters. Out of that, milk and water are 25x and 5x. This ratio is 5:1. So technically when you withdraw 30 liters, 25 liters will be milk, okay? And 5 liters will be water. The question is saying the final quantity of water left in S is 40 liters. The initial quantity of water before removing is 5x. From that you are removing 5 liters of water, right? And now finally we have 40 liters of water content. So 5x, the initial water content before removing, minus 5 liters of water removed is 40. If 5x minus 5 is 40, I can see 5x is 45 or x is equal to 9. If x is 9, the capacity of each vessel would be 10 into 9. 10 into 9 is simply 90 liters, and that is my C option. Alright, that's the answer, option C, and that's how we do it. Alright, candidates in an examination consisting of 60% men and 40% women. So let there be 100 number of people in the exam. 60% of 100 are men. 60 men are there and 40% are women. So the number of women will be 40. Okay. 70% men, 70% of 60, right? 70% of 60 will be 42 men. Okay. And 75% women, 75% of 40, like 75% is what? 3/4? 3/4 of 40 is 30. So 42 men and 30 women cleared the qualifying test and entered the final test. So 42 men and 30 women are basically entering the final test. Out of them, 80% men, okay, 80% of 42 will be 8 to 16, 8 4 33.6, okay, and 70% women, 70% of 30 will be 21. 21 women were successful. 33.6 men and 21 women were successful. Which of the following statements is or are correct? Okay, let's check the first one. Success rate is higher for women. Success rate means the total number of women. Out of these, how many are qualifying? 21 finally, right? So 21 by 40, 4 to 8.5, 52.5% women are passing finally. And the number of men who are passing are 33.6 out of total number of men 60. So this is 6, 6, 6, 5 is 30 and 6, 6 is 36. 56% men are qualifying. So success rate is higher for men. One is not true. So options A and B are ruled out. Okay. Second option, more men cleared the examination than women. So how many men cleared the examination? 42 were qualifying the test and 33.6 succeeded. which is respectively more than the corresponding number of women. So 42 men are more than 30 women and 33.6 are more than 21. Yeah, so that statement is definitely true. Success rate is higher for men. Yes, we have already figured it out. 56% is success rate for men, and for women this is 52.5. So success rate for men is more, and option statement 3 is correct. Okay. Lastly, overall success rate is below 50%. Well, overall 33.6 plus 21, 54.6 people have passed out of 100. This is above 50%, right? So fourth is not correct. The correct answer that sums up the entire thing is option D, 2 and 3 only. Okay, so very straightforward question and simple question. That's how we do it. The answer is option D. Right, so the concept for this we have already discussed in the slot 1 question, guys. Notice that 401 and 399, the difference of 401 and 399 is 2. Same way 301 and 299, the difference is also 2. 101 and 99, the difference is also 2. 201 and 199, also the difference is 2. So we simply multiply and divide by the conjugate everywhere. Let me show you the first term. Root of 401 minus root of 399. Let's multiply and divide by root of 401 plus root of 399. Okay, we are multiplying and dividing by root of 401 plus root of 399. Okay, so this is a plus b and this is a minus b. A plus b into a minus b will become a square, meaning root of 401 square minus root of 399 square upon root of 401 plus root of 399. Okay, now root of 401 square is 401 only, minus root of 399 square is 399 only. 401 minus 399 is 2. 2 upon root of 401 plus root of 399. So the first option can be changed to 2 upon root of 401 plus root of 399. And now this we can do with all other options, right? And we know that all the 4 options A, B, C, D can be written in the similar format, having the same numerator 2 everywhere. The fraction with the smallest denominator will be the greatest in value. So notice that the smallest denominator is there in C. Root 101 plus root 99, the smallest denominator. So C will be the largest in value. Followed by the next smaller denominator is there in D. Root 209 plus root 199. So after C, the next bigger number is D, followed by the B option. Okay, the next bigger denominators are there in root 299 and root 301. That's the B option. And the greatest denominator is there in A. So A is the smallest. C, D, B, A is a sequence of the numbers in the descending order. It's our D option. Okay. All right, a very beautiful question based on indices. So let me look at the very first term here, and by symmetry we can solve the other two also. Okay, the first term here is x raised to a divided by x raised to b. This whole thing is raised to a square plus ab plus b square. Okay, I'll solve the first term, and as I've said, you can obtain the next two terms by symmetry. Okay, so guys, notice that x raised to a divided by x raised to b is basically our second law of indices, right? Whenever we are dividing two numbers, the base is same, the powers can be subtracted. So we have x raised to a upon x raised to b is x raised to a minus b. This entire thing is raised to a square plus ab plus b square. This is our third law of indices, a raised to m, and the whole thing is raised to n. So a raised to m into n. X raised to a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square. Okay, now if you notice carefully, guys, a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square, this, if you multiply, it's the expansion of a cube minus b cube, isn't it? So the entire first term boils down to x raised to a cube minus b cube, right? Similarly, your second term will be x raised to b upon x raised to c. Finally, it will boil down to x raised to b cube minus c cube, exact same logic. And lastly, your third term is x raised to c upon x raised to a. This will finally boil down to x raised to c minus a into c square plus ca plus a square. That is x raised to c cube minus a cube. Okay. Finally, we are multiplying these three. Once again, the base is same for all these, that is x. Okay, x is same. So the powers will effectively get added, right? So the final value will be x raised to a cube minus b cube plus b cube minus c cube plus c cube minus a cube. So minus b cube plus b cube cancels, minus c cube plus c cube cancel, a cube minus a cube also gets cancelled. Everything cancels to give you 0. The final answer is x raised to 0. X raised to 0 will be equal to 1, and that is my C option. Okay, beautiful question. Combining your algebraic equation with indices, a very common question format in these exams. The answer is option C. Alright, a person sold an article for rupees 136 and incurred 15% loss. Had he sold it for X, he would have obtained a profit of 15%. Which one of the following is correct? Okay, so first of all, let us suppose the cost price of the article as equal to 100 A rupees. Okay, cost price of the article is 100 A. There is a 15% loss incurred, right? So 15% of 100A, the loss is 15A. 15% of 100 is 15 only. So 100A ka 15% is 15A. So your loss value is 15A. That means your selling price is 100 minus 15, 85A. Now this selling price is given to you in the question as 136. So 85A is equal to 136. Will give me A as 136 upon 85. Both are multiples of 17. So 17 8s are and 17 5s are. 8 by 5 is the value of A. You can also take it as 1.6. So if A is 1.6, 100A will be 100 into 1.6, and that is 160 rupees. So the cost price per article, or the cost price of the article, is worth 160 rupees. Now the question says, had he sold it for rupees X, he would have obtained a profit of 15%. Let's include 15% profit on this 160. So 160 is the cost price. We are increasing it by 15%. So 160 plus 15% of 160 is your new selling price. 0, 0 gone. 5 3s are and 5 2s are, 2 8s are. 160 plus 3 8s are 24 is 184. So the selling price required for 15% profit is the cost 160 plus the profit 15%. Okay, 184 rupees is the new selling price. 184 is between 180 and 190. Thereby, X is lying between 180 and 190. It is the B option. Right? So again, a very straightforward question based on profit and loss. And that's how we do it. The answer is option B. Right, so Ramesh purchased two mobile phones from a shop. He sold first mobile at a price of 18750 and second mobile at the price of 14250. The profit percent on first is 5 times the loss percent on second. Find out the overall profit made by Ramesh after selling both the mobile phones, given that he purchased both at the same cost. Okay. So let that same cost, the cost price of both the mobiles be equal to X rupees. Okay. In the first case, he's selling the mobile at 18750. He's making a profit. The profit is always selling price minus the cost price. Okay. The profit value is 18750 minus X. The profit percent on the first mobile shall be this profit value upon X multiplied by 100. Similarly, if he's selling the second mobile at 14250, there is loss being made. Loss is always the cost minus the selling price, X minus 14250, and the loss percentage shall be X minus 14250 upon X multiplied by 100. This is the profit percentage in the first case, and this is the loss percent in the second case. As per the question, the profit percentage is 5 times the loss percentage. Okay, that's it. So we need to solve for X now to get our answer. We could cancel out a lot of things. We can cancel out X from both sides and 100 also from both sides. So we get 18750 minus X would be equal to 5X minus 5 into 14250. So 5 into 14 is 70,000 and 5 into 250 is 1250. So 71,250 probably. Okay, take X on this side. 5X plus X is 6X. 71250 goes to that side and it becomes 90,000. 6x is 90,000, therefore x is 15,000. Right? So the cost price of each mobile is 15,000 rupees. Now I can find out the overall cost price. Right? I have an overall CP of 15,000 plus 15,000. 15k plus 15k is 30k. That is 30,000, the overall cost price. And we can also find out the overall selling price. Overall selling price is 18750 plus 14250, isn't it? So it will become 18 and 14, 32, 750 and 50 is 1000. 32,000, 1000 is 33,000. Right? Overall cost price is 30,000. Overall selling price is 33. There is clearly a profit of 3,000 rupees being made, right? So profit percentage shall be 3,000 divided by the cost 30,000 multiplied by 100. 2 zeros gone here, 2 zeros gone. 30 upon 3 is 10. So 10% profit overall. And that's my D option. Okay. So slightly complicated looking question, but it's a very straightforward question once you realize that most of these things get cancelled out. So X gets cancelled and 100 also gets cancelled. The final answer is option D, 10%. Alright, the length of a rectangle is increased by 25%. By what percent should its breadth be decreased so as to maintain the same area? Alright, so there are multiple ways to answer this question, guys. The first way is assume the length as L initially and the breadth as B. Okay, so initial length as L, initial breadth as B. The area will be equal to L into B. The length is increased by 25%. Okay, 25% is basically 1/4. So the increase in the length will be 1/4 of L or L by 4. The new length will be L plus L by 4. L plus L by 4 will be 5L by 4, right? This is the new length. Now the question says the area should remain the same, that is L into B. Okay, now guys, if you don't change the breadth, the new area will be 5L by 4 times the breadth B or 5L upon 4 into L into B. The area changes, right? So to maintain the area same, let's compensate by making the breadth 4 by 5 times the initial, right? In this case, even if you multiply these two, 5 and 5 cancels, 4 and 4 cancels, the area will still be equal to L into B, right? So length becomes 5 by 4 times, compensate by making the breadth 4 by 5 times, okay? Right, the final breadth is 4 by 5B minus initial is B. So 4 by 5B minus the initial B upon B into 100 is the percentage change in the breadth. Final minus initial upon initial into 100. So 4 by 5 times B minus B is basically minus B by 5 divided by B, multiply this with 100. This is minus 100 upon 5 or minus 20. So the breadth needs to decrease by 20% to maintain the same area. It is the A option. Okay. That is one way of solving. There is one more method, guys. Always remember, whenever the length is changed by A% and the breadth is changed by B%, the percentage change in the area is A plus B plus AB upon 100. Okay. So in this question, the percentage change in the length is 25. We want the percentage change in the breadth. Let it be B. And the percentage change in the area will be 0. The area is not changing. So use the formula. The percentage change in the area will be A plus B plus A into B upon 100. And this should be equal to 0. Put A as 25 and keep B as B. This will be 25 plus B plus 25 into B upon 100 is equal to 0. So 25 4s are, and this I take on the right hand side. I get B plus B by 4 is minus 25. Multiplying above and below by 4. 4B by 4 plus B by 4 is 5B by 4 is minus 25. 5 into 5 cancels. B is minus 5 into 4, that is minus 20. Or the percentage change in the breadth is minus 20, means the breadth has to be decreased by 20% to get the answer, right? That's another way. The answer is still option A. Right? Another quick shortcut to get the answer here will be to use the concept of percentage change offset. Okay, percentage change offset. It's a very simple concept, guys, and that says if a number is increasing by 1 by n, to get back the initial value, it should be decreased by 1 upon n plus 1. Okay, so if the length of the rectangle is increased by 25%, now 25% is 1 by 4. So if the length is increased by 1 by 4, then the breadth should be decreased by 1 upon 4 plus 1, that is 1 by 5. Whoa, 1 by 5 in percentage is 20%. We instantly get the answer as option A, 20%. Okay, remember this concept of percentage change. If you want to learn about this concept in detail, you can check out my course in the description where I've explained this. So that brings me to the last question of this slot, the data interpretation question. Please give it a try and you can resume for the solution. Okay, so we have a bar graph here that gives us the numbers of bread packets sold. There are two types of bread packets, multigrain and whole wheat. Okay, multigrain for 5 stores A, B, C, D and E, and whole wheat for 5 stores A, B, C, D and E have been given, right? And we have the question based on this data. If another store F sold number of multigrain packets, which is the average number of multigrain packets sold by stores C, D and E. So there's a store F which is also selling multigrain packets and whole wheat. Okay, the number of multigrain packets sold in F, it is the average of the multigrain packets sold by C, D, E. Now multigrain packets sold by C, D and E are 72 for C, 54 for D and 84 for E. The average will be 72 plus 54 plus 84 divided by 3, or 24 plus 18 plus 28. And the whole wheat pack sold by the store F will be the average of the whole wheat sold by A and E. Okay, A, the whole wheat is 44 in number, E, the whole wheat is 72 in number. Their average is 44 plus 72 divided by 2, or 22 plus 36. That makes it what, 58? If store B sold each packet at 240 and store F sold each packet at 20% more, so 240, 20% of 240 is what, 1/5? 1/5 of 240 is 5 4 25, it's a 40. So store F is selling each packet at 240 plus 48, that is 288 rupees. Then what is the revenue collected by store F? Store F is selling 70 packets of multigrain and 58 packets of whole wheat. Total packets are 128. So I just need to calculate 288 into 128. Okay, no need to multiply the entire thing. Just notice that 8 into 8 is 64. So the answer has to end with a 4. And also guys, if it is only 12, like for example, if this was only 280 into 120, so 12 8s are 96 and 12 2s are 24 plus 9 is 33. The answer is already more than 33,000. So the answer which is more than 33,000 and ending with a 4 is my B option. Or you can call this as 300 approximately and 120. So 36,000, something close to 36,000 and ending with a 4 is the B option. Either ways, you get the answer as option B. Okay, the total number of packets sold by store C, that is 72 plus 80 is 152, is approximately what percent more or less than total packets sold by E? Total packets sold by E is 84 plus 72, that is 156. So technically it is less. Okay, packets sold by C is less in number. So it's either the B option or the D option. Now, the difference is 4 basically. Okay, and guys, 156, if I take 1% of 156, it is 1.56, and 3% will be 3 times. So roughly 3% will be 3 6 are 18, 3 5 are 15 plus 16, 3 plus 4. So approximately 2 point something hona chahiye, but yeah, it is very close to 3%, right? So it is 3% less than 156. Okay, once again, I observe 1% of 156 is 1.56. Approximately 3 times is 4.68. The difference is close to 4.68. So the difference is approximately 3%. Okay, 3% of 156. That is the answer to my question, option B. Okay, so multigrain packets sold by stores A and B together, at what percent more or less than whole wheat packets sold by stores C and D together? Okay, multigrain packets sold by stores A and B. A and B, the multigrain are 92 and 64. This total is what, 156? Okay, 156. Right? And whole wheat packets by store C and D. that is 80 and 40, this is 120. 156 is what percent more than 120? So 156 and 120, the gap is 36. The final answer required is 36 out of 120 is what percent? 36 out of 120 into 100, 0 and 0 go on, 12 threes are 3 into 10 is 30%. So 30% more. Multi-grain packet sold by stores A and B is 30% more than stores C and D together. That is A option. Okay. Right, guys. So that's the end of it. I hope you guys have understood all these questions and enjoyed solving. So I'll see you all next time. All the best for the exam. Bye-bye.